Hello, and welcome to another edition of Canadian Immigration Law Updates. My name is Nandi Deterville of Deterville Law Office. In today's updates, we will be discussing the express entry round of invitations to apply for permanent residence to Canada, as well as the extension on travel restrictions into Canada from the US and other countries. Let's get started, shall we? So, first off, I want to discuss the express entry round of invitations to apply. Last week, there were two such invitations to apply rounds, first being on February 10th. On that February 10th round of invitations, only candidates in the pool from the provincial nominee program were selected, with and that was 654 invitations were issued at that time. The CRS score was 720 or higher. That is, the candidates in the pool of express entry candidates were where we had a CRS score of 720 received invitations on that day. And again, the provincial nominee program is for candidates that have sometimes applied specifically to the province in order to gain additional points with respect to their experience and how that province has deemed that experience necessary to the progression of the province. And so it is not unusual that the CRS score for provincial nominee program rounds be as high as 720, and on many occasions they've actually been much higher. For instance, the January 20th round, where provincial nominee class candidates were selected, the CRS score for that round was 741. So again, the rounds tend to be geared towards very high scoring candidates in the pool, and for that reason, many candidates do have to pay particular attention to the types of work they do and how that application to the provincial nominee round can affect their scoring. So then something amazing happened on February 13th, which was a Saturday. And in that round, candidates in the pool for Canadian Experience class were selected. This round, the February 13th, being the 176th round of the program, of the Express Entry program, was indeed unique for many reasons. First off, the number of invitations issued in that round was by far the largest ever in the program's history. That number, 27,332 invitations. Again, this round was unique for another reason, and that being the CRS score of the lowest ranked candidate. In the February 13th round, the CRS score for candidates in this pool was 75, which is remarkable. The sheer number of invitations issued, the low ranking score of the candidates shows that Canada as a whole is really committed to increasing its numbers of immigrants to the country and for giving people the ability to stay in Canada on a more permanent basis. Again, Canadian experience class candidates are generally those candidates who have worked in Canada in the past. Typically, the minimum requirements for this is that you have a specific language level, that you have at least 1 year skilled work experience in Canada. That skilled work experience has to be from a full-time job or in equal parts amounts for part-time work, and that full-time employment has to show at least 30 hours a week for that period. Also, it is important in order to apply and be eligible for this program that the candidates would have gained the work experience while working in Canada under a temporary residence status with work authorization. So that means that this program is specifically geared towards people who have worked in Canada in the past, um, um, with under a work permit. And so it really opened up this particular round, as you can tell from the sheer number of invitations issued, really opened up the floodgates, as they say, to people to gain permanent residence to Canada as a result of that experience. It is quite remarkable, the numbers and the people who, based on that round, are now in the running, as they say, to gain Canadian permanent residence. And as we know, the express entry system allows for processing of complete applications in about 6 months, which again, alludes to the fact that it is named the express entry system. So again, if anyone needs help with making sure that their package is in fact complete and able to process quickly, it is always a recommendation that you contact a legal representative who can handle that sort of work for you. And we at Deterville Law Office are always happy to help clients in that way. So we'll now move on to the travel restrictions that have been placed on on people coming into Canada. Again, I allude to the earlier restrictions which came into force early January, where not only are non-Canadian citizens or permanent residents required to do certain things to come into Canada, but all people. So it's a now requirement that someone traveling into Canada has a negative COVID-19 test to show on at the airport where they are taking off from. But now we know that there have been additional extensions to the current travel restrictions based on the protocols put in place by the Canadian government due to its efforts to diminish the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the country. So as of now, the extensions between Canada and the US being the country from which most travelers to Canada come, that extension has been moved to March 21st, 2021. And that's to the US. To other countries other than the US, the current non essential discretionary travel restrictions are now up until April 21st, 2021. This again has been slightly disappointing to many people who wish to be able to travel bit, back and forth to Canada. But unfortunately, the government has determined that at this time, it really isn't beneficial to the country in general for travel to not have certain restrictions in place. Again, there are a few other restrictions, a few other items that need to be considered by persons traveling into Canada. As of now, you are required to spend at least portion of your quarantine, your 14-day quarantine, mandatory quarantine, at a government facility. You are required to also get tested on arrival into Canada for COVID-19, and you may be released to another facility, wherever you have planned to stay for the duration of your quarantine. You would be released only if that test result comes back negative after your arrival in Canada. So, for persons who wish to travel into Canada, it is again recommended to make sure that you understand the restrictions as well as what is expected of you on arrival, and to ensure that those things get covered. We have had reports between where some facilities have not been up and running, and travelers into Canada have experienced different experience have different experiences on their entry, but we have been assured that that would be rectified about from today, and so moving forward until for March 21st or April 21st, depending on which country you're coming from, those restrictions are certainly in place, and travel into Canada is restricted to essential travel purposes only by foreign nationals. So that is the end of our updates for today. I do want to make a personal note. I am originally from the island nation of St. Lucia, which today, February 22nd, is celebrating its independence. St. Lucia gained its independence from Great Britain back in February 22nd, 1979. So, again, I wish all St. Lucians a very happy independence day to day. So that is it for now. Again, if you want to contact me, be free to do so via my website, www.detervillelaw.com. And I will hope to hear from you soon. And do have yourself a very pleasant day. Bye for now.